Hey you guys, today I'm talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 7 Reunion Part 2. It really wasn't that good to me, but we'll talk about it anyway. Before I go on with this review, let me get this off. I'm not team anybody. Someone left it in my comment section last week, was who team I was on, was I team, I guess, Troll or whatever the comment was, but um, I'm not team anybody. I'll call each woman out as I see it. You know what I'm saying? There's things that certain women do that I'm just not feeling. You know what I'm saying? But all of them can get it. I'm not team Twirl. I'm not team Phaedra. I'm not team Kenya. I'm not team Pretty. I'm team me. I'm team everybody. I want to see everybody win. But as far as just being on an individual team, I don't know these bras to be on their team. I'm just saying. Um, so now that that little minute is gone and passed and wasted of my time, they started off the show about the whole $20,000 situation between Kenya and Nene. And I get both sides with this. No, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to, okay, Kenya gave her 20,000, so then Nene said she didn't give her 20,000, she'd give it when she's ready. But I'm like, baby girl, it's been over a year and you have not gave that money. And then I'm like, this is bigger than you trying to prove something to Kenya. This is bigger than you. This is bigger than Kenya. This was about helping inner city kids in the public school systems and stuff like that. So I don't get why you couldn't go give them this $20,000. And might have been wrong, you know what I'm saying? But because it's been a minute. But wasn't Nene the one that brought it up to give to charity? And now that you see she can give to charity, now you want to kind of backpedal on that? That's where it comes wrong for me. When she was saying something about putting it on social media, I get what Nene is saying, but I also get what Kenya is saying where, bitch, I'm always a liar, so I had to prove to y'all that I did give the money. You know what I'm saying? She's always been called a liar since she's been on the show. So I get her point too. But like I said, I do think Nene needs to give that $20,000 up, and like I said, it's not about her. Cynthia finding her voice. It's starting. You know, Nene said this has always been Cynthia. She's always gossiped. She's always talked about, you know what I'm saying, talked about people and shit like that. Have a smart ass mouth. This is her, and I agree with Nene because, yeah, you know what I'm saying. She has been a little buck this season, but if you watch past seasons and past reunions, when she was hanging with Nene, she was saying some slick shit too. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't as buck this season like she is this season, but she was buck when it came to Kim and her arguing and who else with her arguing. You know, she just said a lot of little slick shit. Go back and watch the reunions. Cynthia always have said little slick shit, but I guess since it was directed towards Nene and stuff like that, people was like, wait, hold the fuck up. But she's always been slick at that time. Always. Um, and then they started with Phaedra and Cynthia and all this personal attack and who wore big girl clothes, and it was just dumb to me. It was petty. One thing I remember about that is when Cynthia brought up about being the head doctor, she brought it up twice. The first time all she was saying was, you can forgive Nene for calling you a head doctor. You know what I'm saying? But then you can't forgive other people. You know what I'm saying? And Nene had been going after her for a long time. So Nene was like, how did I get in this? How did I get in this? I understand where you're coming from, Nene, but she was just trying to make a point. She wasn't really trying to throw you in that conversation. She was just making a point of how can you forgive somebody that dogged you out, talked about you, called you all these names, but then when it comes to somebody just doing something little petty bullshit that the world thinks y'all could have talked about and worked through, then you don't want to do that. So, I'm all here for you do get to pick and choose who you want to still fuck with. You know what I'm saying? You could have said, you know what, Cynthia, you know what I'm saying? I forgive you for that shit, but I'm just not fucking with you no more. And then that would have been cool. I just hate for people to say they don't forgive people. Like Kia said last week, the forgiveness is about yourself. And maybe she ain't ready to forgive herself for whatever reason. I don't know. The second time she was just calling her head doctor to be fucking shady. Then they start arguing over winning case, the Bailey agency, and you giving little girls false dreams or whatever she said to that fact. I wasn't here for that. I wasn't here for that. Both of you guys are black women trying to do something, and I wasn't here for you guys trying to shame each other business. You know what I'm saying? First of all, Phaedra, how are you getting mad at her for even trying to give some little girl hope? You know what I'm saying? I just didn't get that part. Especially when you was the one trying to give these little boys hope. So I don't get how you dog another woman for trying to give little girls hope with that Bailey agency. Talking about, is it still there? Is it still there? It's not even, is it a real, whatever she was saying, she was just throwing shade. And I felt like it was stupid. The whole winning case thing, I felt like it was stupid. Now, yeah, we all have talked about her winning a case, but for them two women to just be going back and forth, I thought it was stupid. They were talking about storylines, and I do feel like Cynthia hit you with that one when you were talking about her having a storyline. And she was telling you, like, bitch, a storyline, like, Apollo was your storyline and he not here. So, hey, she hit her with that one. I was like, ooh, like, yeah, well, she got a little point. And she was like, I have jobs. And I'm sitting there like, okay, but we have not seen you doing nothing with your job. You went to school for the bombing thing. We ain't seen you do no funeral besides Mr. Willie Watkins, whatever damn man name was, letting you do something. Then she did something, the booty workout test. We ain't seen you promote none of that. So stop saying you got jobs when ain't nobody saying you do nothing. Or we ain't saying you go to work. I don't know. Just stop throwing that out there like ain't nobody else working. Like, you know this lady is a model. You know she has a baby agency. You're not the only one with a job. And y'all working on the Real Housewives. So everybody got a fucking job. So stop acting like nobody's working when all y'all are working. Then another thing I didn't like about Phaedra, when she started throwing about the cases and how Peter has 24 cases open, and I'm sitting there like, but you don't want nobody to hit you when you're down. Do you not think that's something down about somebody suing somebody? Because you going through some court shit too. And you would have been really, really motherfucking mad if Cynthia would have said, well, bitch, you going through some court shit too. Should we talk about your court shit with old girl that that you tried to appeal and the judge said hell to the dog? Like, come on now, you got to face some shit. Like, don't throw out shit where other people can throw it back at you. That's all I'm saying. Phaedra and Kandi whole situation. I didn't like this whole situation because to me, Kandi was pouring her heart out to Phaedra. And Phaedra was sitting there looking at Kandi like, bitch, please. Instead of sitting there like, okay, friend. Because I have a problem with that. I have a problem with people saying, oh, you wasn't here for me, like the motherfucking phone don't work two ways. I have a real problem with that. I have a problem with people feeling like their problem is bigger than your problem. No, we all have problems. Maybe because my problem not affecting you or whatever, the way it's affecting me, we all have fucking problems. And so I didn't get where Phaedra was doing that shit to Kandi, was saying, well, I was, going through my thing. I just couldn't deal with that. I couldn't deal with that. They talked about, like the tour versus Apollo and all this kind of shit. And she was just like, I had more going on. And I'm sitting there like, really? Your husband was going to jail. You wasn't there for him. You was running from him. So it ain't like, oh, well, I had court cases to go to. I had to deal with this. I had to deal with that. You wasn't doing none of that. And then Kandi even had to put it out there like, I had my own things going on. It wasn't just my tour. It wasn't just my marriage. I had a family member going to prison that Phaedra knew about. And then Kandi put it on her blogs like she had family members living with her at the time. She was going through a lot of shit too. And that's why it made me mad to see Phaedra just sitting there the way she was doing. Kandi was sitting there crying and shit. Not one time did she try to go up to be her friend. And when it seemed like it was making her look like the bad person, she was like, oh, it's not like that. I love Kandi. Kandi know I loved her. And I'm like, really? Really? See, I couldn't be Phaedra's friend. I couldn't fuck with her. But then they brought up about, cause she was saying how, oh, Kandi didn't invite me to stuff, and I'm sitting there like, well, maybe she didn't invite you that time because she figured you was going through stuff, and you didn't want to be around people. And then, Kandi was even saying, like, she making it seem like we wasn't talking for months at a time. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we wasn't talking every day, but we were talking, and I believe that when it comes to that. Then comes to talking about, how can she talk to Nene and Portia and not talk to Kandi, and she had an excuse for that. And I'm just sitting there like, Phaedra's full of fucking excuses. We know you're a lawyer, you quick to think of your feet to bring up something, but you just full of excuses and dumbass looks to me. They talked about, Kandi not saying nothing to the girls, the way her mama, the way she talked to the girls and all that. And she was like, these bitches ain't my mama. You know what I'm saying? I would never talk to my mama the way I talk to them. And you're not supposed to. I do want her to have a backbone to her mom. I truly do. But you don't give it to your mama the way you give it to the bitches on the street. You don't. You don't. My mama can piss me the fuck off, but I would never give it to her the way I would give it to somebody on the street. Now, she might get it, but not the way I would give it to somebody on the street. So I do get that part when it comes to Kandi and her mama. Then they start, her talking about, Phaedra and Nene's situation, and she was just like, it was something every year with Nene and Phaedra. That's why she was telling her to take baby steps and not jump straight in and all that kind of stuff. Phaedra was saying how she don't tell Nene all her business and stuff like that, but I'm like, you told her enough that you made her feel like there was some friction between you and Kandi, and I felt like that was wrong. And that's what Kandi was saying to Portia, like, that's the difference between me and you. I know how to be a friend. Because they even brought up the whole text message thing. And she said Phaedra knew about them text messages because when Apollo came to them, she called Phaedra. So Phaedra, I don't understand why you were saying when you got to that dinner, like it was such a surprise to you, and they bombarded you when you already knew that this was out there. You already knew this was out there, so, but, when it comes to dinner, you were so overwhelmed, and they came at you in 5 minutes. If you know that this rumor is out there, and your husband knows Peter, your husband knows Todd, so you know it can get back to any of the women in the group. Don't act surprised when you got to that dinner and didn't think it was going to come out by your enemies. That's all I'm saying. I was overwhelmed and I was at my snapping point and I'm just... Maybe you were at your snapping point, maybe, but I feel like your snapping was on the wrong person and it should have been on your husband and stuff like that. And then, Kandi was bringing up, because she was talking about, I was texting, calling Kandi and she wasn't returning my calls, and Kandi was like, wait a minute, hold up. Just because I didn't call you back the night of the thing that Apollo lied to Kenya, that don't make me a friend. Like, that's what Kandi was mad at. Then the whole thing, like I've been saying through this whole season, is when Phaedra gets in them confessionals. I was like, say that to Candy's face. She's not saying it to Candy's face. She's only saying it in them confessionals. And that's just what she was doing. And it was making Kandi feel some kind of way. And I would have felt some kind of way too. I just would. Then when she saw it was all not going her way, then she was like, well, I have my own life. Well, so did Kandi, boo-boo. So did Kandi. That's what I don't understand. Like I said, it's okay when you want people to run to you, but you don't want to meet them halfway and run to them and deal with their problems. I can't deal with that. I can't. That's probably why I only got internet friends, because I can't deal with people saying, oh, you don't ever call me. Bitch, my number ain't changed. You don't come on my house. Bitch, my address, well, it might have changed, but you know my new address. I'm just saying, like, come on, like, come. My social medias don't change. Like, I hate when people do that. Then they talked about the whole friend swap, how people are different friends and all that kind of stuff, and how they asked Nene, do she now know Phaedra now? Or whatever. She's like, I stick by what I said. Ooh, bitch. I said that we didn't know each other like that. Bitch, you act like you didn't know her at all. And Phaedra was making all that shit up that first damn season. Just y'all was on there. Like, come on, Nene, own up to that shit. Then, you know, of course it was talking about, you know, messing with Kandi's and Nene's friendship and all that kind of stuff. And she was like, no, I wasn't. I'm like, yeah, you were trying to throw a little salt up in there. Don't act, just own it. Just own it. They asked Kandi who team was she on, and because she's like in limbo, and she was like, I'm not team nobody, and I'll agree with that. Bitch, I'm not team nobody. I'm team me. That's all I can be. I can be cool with you. I can be cool with you. Why do I gotta be team? We grown. We don't play on teams. I don't play games. I'm not on a team. That's stupid to me. And I felt Kandi. Nene, they were talking about how Nene lost a lot of friends and all this kind of stuff, and you know, she was saying, do she wish Kim and Sheree still on the show? And she was like, no, but when these women work on the show, they have limitations. And I'm sitting there like, when? Sheree talked about how broke you was. She talked about your son going to jail. She talked about all this stuff. So when did she have limitations? You didn't have limitations on Kim when you talked about her bad, talked about her kids. They say you fought her. We didn't see it on camera, but okay, whatever. So where was the limitation? Talking about these women don't have limits. Oh, girl, they have limits, because I think if they gave it to you the way they wanted to, I think they just scared they're going to be fired off the show if they really give it to Queen Nene. I just really, really think that. I think a lot of them will give it to you. I think at least Claudia will give it to you a little bit more if she didn't want her piece. Then he was talking about you lost a lot of friends. You know, he brought up Cynthia, Kim, and Sheree. And she just basically don't care about Sheree. She didn't really too much say nothing bad about Kim. And she said out of all of them, her and Cynthia was the closest and stuff like that. Then they bring the husbands on stage, and they talked about Peter not having a peach, and him being Luke Peter, and all these stupid ass jokes about Peter, and I didn't care. And they asked him about him butting in women's business, and he was like, I don't give a fuck. I say what I want to say, and I feel him on that. Like, don't have me on the fucking show if you don't want me to say nothing. They asked Greg. Greg's talking about, I don't know, I'm a married man. I'm like, where? I ain't seen Greg been a manly man since the first season, so maybe he sees some shit. Because I don't give a fuck. Greg say little slick shit too. When it be him and Nene, he say a little slick shit just as well as Peter say slick ass shit. Maybe, you know, Peter a little bit more outspoken with his, but Greg say little slick shit too. So if Peter needs to hold a motherfucking peach, so do Greg. I'm just saying, all these men, when they're talking to their woman, they have a say something. They have something to say when they woman. What the fuck are they supposed to do? Just stand there and say nothing at all, just stand there like. That would make his wife look stupid, sitting there making her look like she's talking to her damn stuff and you ain't paying her no attention. But he be asked about certain situations. The conversation be brought up to him, and he has an opinion. I mean, so I really can't get at him like that. When he was talking to Nene, shit, Nene, it needed to be said to her. So I don't be tripping off of him. I don't. I trip about him making these business deals and not talking to his wife. That's about it. I just say, if you're going to make some business deals, make sure your wife know about it. But as far as him saying something about these women, no. If that was the case, we would talk about all the goddamn men bloggers that talk about this damn show. They all have an opinion, and I don't call them no bitch. So why would I call Peter one? I just can't do it. That ain't even, I don't know. For y'all the ones that call him, that's y'all vote. It just ain't me. I just be seeing a lot of times where he be coming from. Moving on from that, and Greg being a man's least man's, whatever. I do like how he was asking, and he messy, because he was saying, do Nene have anything to say to Peter? And she was like, no. He was like, shit, you usually do. Why you ain't got nothing to say now? And I was like, yeah, that's true. You usually do. on Twitter and everything. Nene always got something to say, but when somebody confront her about, oh, I don't have nothing to say, you right, you wrong, I'm for it, that shit irritates me. Then they start talking about the African men and who all dated the African men, and Kenya was like, I did, I started the trend, and everybody else want to do it. Kenya, don't give yourself that much credit. Don't do it. Don't try to make it seem like everybody trying to be like you. It's probably a lot of bitches in Atlanta and dated African men. So don't try to make it seem like you started the shit. Especially when nobody saw. Portia say they lied about her African man, but I'm sitting there like, somebody knew about somebody, because Kandi be giving y'all these looks like, bitch, you're lying. And both of them, everybody have made reference like this girl done some shit. So, I just want her to own up to it. Maybe she did. Maybe it wasn't a man that she was pictured with, but maybe she did. Maybe she didn't. I don't care. Phaedra said the whole Apollo thing, text message thing about Mr. Chocolate was a lie. Then they start arguing over that, and I didn't. It just felt like a waste of our time to hear. It didn't. I knew she wasn't going to own up to that shit. I really did. It wasn't no way in the world. If y'all didn't have the fucking proof on the damn couch right there, she was never going to own up to them text messages. And, I'm sorry, but I don't think a woman would. Bitch, if you ain't showing no proof, a woman gonna go to the death about that. I'm just saying. She gonna be like, hell to the no, it wasn't me. Unless you got some motherfucking proof in her face, a woman is gonna be like, nope, wasn't me. Motherfucking man can lie and then get caught up, and then you can just wave a blank piece of paper and they gonna tell every fucking thing. But a woman gonna be like, wasn't me. I'm just talking about, wasn't me. So we'll never get it. Peter said he's seen it. And I didn't see Phaedra going at Peter saying, no, you didn't see it. I don't know what you're talking about. Or, Andy, you should have asked me, what did you see, Peter? That's my whole thing. But Peter said he's seen it or whatever. Todd said he came to the house and had colored pictures and shit like that. That's my thing. And Phaedra never once said anything to them about it, and they seen that damn text message. She just said Apollo was lying. Then they start getting into it, the whole Apollo lied on Kenya but didn't lie on her and all that kind of stuff. And I'm telling y'all, that was just petty to me. And then they was talking about her flirting and all that kind of stuff and fact checking. So then they start talking about Peter flirting with Peter and all this kind of stuff. And he's like, I've never flirted with Peter. I've never flirted with Peter. And I'm like, yeah, you did. Everybody have said it. That's my thing. It's why when Kenya says something, it's a problem. But everybody have said something about Nene flirting with Peter. Kandi have said it. I don't see. And then when he was saying it, Peter wasn't saying nothing. Then Greg kind of said something and was like, well, at least I won. But I guess they're going to get into it about that next week or whatever. Then I like how Kenya was reading the fuck out of Phaedra about lying. Because she was like, bitch, we all have stuff up here. We all owned up to shit, and you don't want to say nothing. Then when she said, you don't even want to say you have fake hair, and Phaedra said she didn't have fake hair, I'm like, that bitch is lying. That bitch is lying all through her teeth. Like, come on now. Like, and my thing is, yeah, say, can you have flirted with Apollo? We get that part. Hold on, you guys. Hello? Okay. You guys, I have to go. This is like a really important thing. But it was all fucking stupid. Homegirl, we know she got her boobs done and we didn't know nothing about that. So, hey. But I have to go. I'm sorry. This was an emergency call. I have to really, really go. Hello? Yeah, I'm going. I'm going now. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, you guys. I have to go. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. But like I said, it was stupid. Y'all tell me what y'all thought about it. I do everything by the ghetto view, THA, not TAT. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace out. Sorry, you guys.